Our tribe, the San Luis Rey Band of Mission Indians, does not have a reservation, but we do protect our cultural sites here in the Oceanside area. One of our sites here is El Salto Falls, that is we save from being destroyed by development, that here in this Buena Vista Creek area. It is a sacred site. It is registered as such.
They didn't just survive, but thrived out here for 10,000 years before the Europeans began showing up in the late 18th century. And they focused, of course, on places where there were natural sources of water. A lot of the sites that were out in this area, of course, have been developed. A lot of times, current transportation corridors follow ancient trails, and this, where the 78 runs, was a natural migration route for tribes between the coast and the inland area.
This area is particularly important to us because it's a combination of Native American cultural site plus all of the value of having a natural habitat area with a creek through it like this. These areas don't work in isolation, so you really need to care about the entire watershed, what's upstream, all the way to the coast, because what flows through this watershed ultimately ends up at the coast. And we have a wonderful functioning riparian area in here. Unfortunately, it's really being highly impacted by lots of trespass activity. Cleanups like this are really critical. When we started weighing this stuff several cleanups ago, 5,500 pounds of trash was removed and 400 pounds of recyclable on a one morning event like this.
We include monitoring for the general health of the ecosystem, monitoring for sensitive wildlife that use this area. Least Bales vireo is a federally threatened bird species that inhabits this riparian corridor. Trash is obviously an eyesore for the public, right? And it also, in a way, can encourage people to continue trespassing. You know, they see something that's already trashed and they think it's okay. So in a way, keeping the trash out is a way for us to just show them, like, hey, someone's watching this. There's land stewards that care about this land. But on a biological sense, yeah, the trash that accumulates here breaks down into, it doesn't biodegrade, but it breaks down through photodegradation if it's a plastic and can pollute our waterways. There's just so many animals that might inadvertently digest the trash that's here. If we just were to ignore the trash, it's hard to say whether or not the vegetation would be resilient enough to persist on its own.
The area we're at here at Buena Vista Creek, a little valley here, it's next to the Marone adobe. My family is connected with the Marone adobe. I used to drive by here back in the 70s, when I was probably 14 or so, 13. My father used to point to that tree that was living over here by the adobe and say, that's where your great grandmother was born. Lots has changed, a lot has stayed the same, as we can see in the creek, with the creek still running here. So I do have a personal connection to this place, and it is something that I value.